This is a short demo to show how the scheduling system works in JobSiteForecast. So first we select a job here that we want to look at the schedule. We can either use projected hours or estimated hours by clicking this box on or off, so we can look at it either way. We can also assign a calendar to the system that can accommodate things like overtime or different work weeks or different lengths of days. So to put an item on the schedule, I just double click it, and what will show is the top will be the data that's come from Spectrum. It's all locked, you can't change it. It then defaults to 1 day duration, and it'll calculate the crew size required to execute that work. So I may want to change my crew size and say I've got 8 people working on that, and then it will calculate how many days that's going to require. I can also assign a separate calendar if I wish for this particular task that will override whatever the project calendar is. So I can have overtime on one task but not the whole job. So then I save that. So now I've got these 2 tasks on the schedule here now, and then I can start to join them together. I just grab the end of one, tell it to auto schedule, and it will start to put things out on the schedule here. So then let's say my next thing is I got my welded ductwork here to do, and I can do the same sort of thing here. I'm going to put one person on this, 4 days. And then again, I can say when that's going to start. So I can say, well, it's going to start after the hangers are up. But I may want to delay it a couple of days, so I can go in here and say it's plus 2 days. So then it'll move that back 2 days after the finish on that. Now, as I'm doing this, the system is allocating out the manpower at the bottom here so that I can see my manpower loading. And if you hover over any of the items here, it tells you equivalent people. Here I've got 9 people. It'll tell you where that is coming from, what task that's coming from. I can also look at it in hours if I wish. And I can also look at it in dollars. So if I switch it to dollars, now I'm going to have the actual cost rolled up. A couple of other things I can do once I get this schedule set up. I can save it as a baseline. First of all, I could save the schedule or save this as a baseline. And then if the schedule gets changed, so then if the schedule gets changed, for instance, this takes longer, let's put that auto scheduling back on. I can also compare the existing schedule to my original baseline that I had saved by just clicking on baseline, and then it will show what the original schedule was versus what my current schedule is. The next thing I can do is I can take one of these tasks if I need to, and I can split it into subtasks, and then I can allocate what percentage of the cost and hours is going to be associated with each segment that I'm working on here. So I may decide that I've got 3 different segments that I need to deal with. Save that. And then now the task will be split into 3 pieces, which I can separate on the scheduling system, so it still shows as one row. And because scheduling is highly visible, what you want to do maybe is push this into full screen mode, so then you can adjust the borders here a little bit and get a little bit more visibility on the actual Gantt chart itself. And then when you're finished, you can return it back into the regular screen mode. Now you can also zoom in and zoom out. So if I want to see this on a little bit more condensed schedule, weekly or monthly, then I can do that to see what the schedule looks like. Now the other thing you can do to help organize your schedule a little bit, for instance, here you can see I've got a number of tasks that are in floor 1. I can grab all those tasks and then indent them and then give this thing a name. We'll just call it floor 1. That way I can organize my schedule so I can see it in what are reasonable chunks from a field management perspective.